What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Andy Ruiz. The new unified heavyweight champion of the world had a lot of surprising things to say about Anthony Joshua. He said that Anthony Joshua is not a good boxer, and he is not good at boxing. He said the rematch is going to be the same. Ruiz said, I am going to be more prepared and more ready. He also said, I know his flaws. I can do a lot better. The only thing that he can do is just run around. People thought I wasn't going to do anything. I was too big and too overweight. He says, I don't want to say all the things I'm going to do and change for the rematch. He says there's going to be a lot of changing. I am going to come at a better weight this time. I'm going to be a hell of a fight, okay? And he says, first of all, I brought a car for my mom, and that was the first purchase. That's great. That's great. I'm going to stop there because he was talking about the wonderful things he did for his family after he captured the unified titles. But let's go back on what he had to say. He said that I know his flaws, I can do a lot better, and the only thing that he can do is run around. Wow. Okay, let me counterpunch this. Andy Ruiz, I'm pretty sure that he's getting comfortable with the title. I'm sure that he's partied up. He's, or I don't know if he took that week off or not, but I think he was only supposed to take a week off and go right back into training. And for him to say Anthony Joshua's not a good boxer and he's not good at boxing, I think that's a little smack talk. I think he's talking, he's cooking up garbage. You know what I mean? I think that the style of Andy gave him problems, just like a lot of shorter guys did. That was really no secret for Anthony Joshua. He couldn't move or elude those punches like coming from a shorter guy like that. And I think especially like Anthony Joshua is a guy that I think he took him too lightly. I think, it's hard to talk about someone that speaks like Andy. It's hard to be mad at him. If you look at Andy, you don't look like you want to beat him up. You know what I mean? And, I think Anthony Joshua, was too nice. I think he's too nice overall, honestly. It's hard to fight someone that, talks like that, I'm going to be champion of the world. I'm going to do my best. And, I just thank God for the victory, and a lot of people are overlooking me. And I just want to let them know that I'm here to fight and I'm going to shock the world. That's like, and like, yeah, right. Dude sounded like Jay-Z, But Anthony Joshua, giving him his belts and shit like that, and it's hard to transfer energy. You know what I mean? When you're dealing with, you go from Jarrell Miller, brash, Brooklynite, talking shit about your mom, everybody, and telling you where to go fuck yourself and all this, that, and the other, to, oh, you're not fighting Jarrell Miller. He failed the drug test. Okay, who we got? My name is Andy Ruiz. I'm the replacement for Jarrell Miller. I am thankful for the opportunity. That type of shit. And so it's kind of hard to really put all that energy, that negative energy, that surge and I want to fuck up your face to Andy Ruiz. He's a different person. You don't want to come in with them bad intentions, But little he knew, this dude was one hell of a fighter. Now, from what he's saying about, being a good boxer, I think he came in with, I think Anthony Joshua fucked up. He tried to come in mid-range and fight a guy that was shorter than him and was faster than him with the hands. So for every 2 punches that Anthony Joshua threw, he threw 5 or 6. And that was his downfall. It doesn't take much to lose a fight. But to say he's not a good boxer, that's almost, that's some shit talk. You went 6 rounds with this guy. You got into round 7 with this guy. This guy dropped you for the first time. So obviously you had flaws too. The only difference is he struck first. You didn't. You know what I'm saying? Because everything was kind of, even until it got up to the 3rd round, right? Okay, then you got dropped with power you didn't even think he had. With speed you didn't even think he had. He didn't know what happened. He said, before you know it, I was on the fucking ground. And the problem was, it was Joshua not obeying the instruction to fight long, okay? Don't come in. Don't look for the hook. I specifically heard his trainer say that. Don't look for the hook, all right? Keep him long. Keep him long. Joshua didn't do that. Joshua was pressured, okay? All that, they were doing all that behind his neck, all that massaging and shit. That was pressure because he knew he wanted to perform. He wanted to give a good performance because he wasn't just fighting Ruiz. He was fighting all the haters. He was fighting, in another country. He was fighting for America now. You know what I'm saying? He was fighting for a lot of different reasons. Those are the things that was on his mind. And it should have just been Andy Ruiz. Focus on Andy Ruiz and nothing else. And for whatever reason, he couldn't do that. Okay? So when he did get caught with that punch that made him shook him, that's what we had. And for Andy saying, hey, I just think he runs around the ring, I think those are more likely mind games. I think what it is, if a person, here's the thing, if you're a tall person and you're fighting a short person, okay, and you fight tall, like his trainer said, keep him long, he's not going to be able to land his punches like he wants to, right? I think he's saying that so Anthony would be stupid enough to take his ass back in there and do what he attempted to do in the 3rd round by trying to finish this guy. Going in for the kill like he did with Provectin. You know what I mean? Look how he knocked out Provectin. I think that was in round 7, right? I think that was what a lot of Mexican fighters do. And no disrespect to Mexican fighters. I know the Mexican style. I watched all of them. Barrera Morales, Marquez Barrera, all 3 fights with Barrera Morales. You know what I mean? Those guys were classic, like Mexican bangers. They fought like, just toe to toe. Okay. But if you got someone that knows I shouldn't exchange, don't fight anyone's game plan. And I think this is his way of trying to lure Anthony Joshua in. So if Anthony Joshua sees this article and hears what Andy will say or said about him, he's not a good boxer. He's not good at boxing. All he likes to do is run around. Well, being a boxer meaning you can move. Mexicans and guys that fight like Andy Ruiz don't like guys that run around. Or should I say, use their legs. There's not a such thing as running and boxing, people. In case you didn't get the memo, it's not. So you hit without getting hit. Andy Ruiz, if you've seen, a lot of those punches he threw, past 3, he couldn't land with because Joshua finally was fighting long. Now, there was a time when Joshua was just moving around the ring without even throwing his jab. He was just moving around the ring. He was doing that shit because he was trying to shake back. That's the only thing. So he was more wounded than anything. And then, Ruiz was like, okay, come on, let's fight. I would have took all the time I needed simply because, and then I would have took all the time I needed. Fuck Ruiz, run after me and take one of these, by trying to do so. But if you notice, it was when Andy threw a punch, he had to throw like upward. You know what I'm saying? And, and it just grazed by his head. Some of them he would catch Joshua with. But he did not like that style. How do you think Parker beat him? And I'm doing a video about Parker later. But that's how you're able to do. You have to move with a guy that his feet have to be planted to punch, but he can throw really fast with his hands. You know what I mean? The guy that can move will give Andy Ruiz fits, and he knows that. That's why he's saying, oh, he's not a good boxer. He's not good at boxing. Well, that's exactly what he should do to you. Be a better boxer, right? And jab you, keep you long, and make you pay when you come in. But after he makes you pay, create the distance again and repeat the process. That's how you beat Andy Ruiz. Simple. Okay? And it's not like Andy can't get hit and hurt. And I keep saying that. People act like Andy Ruiz was just invincible after the third round. Yeah, you hurt the guy. But you got dropped for the first time in your career, so that means this guy did a lot more than run around. You know, but I think it's mind games, it's trash talk, it's strategy. You know, and if it works, it works. Because if Anthony sees that, he'll get overzealous again, which I doubt he'll do. You know what I'm saying? But that could happen. Listening to guys, oh, he can't fight, he's not a good boxer, he's not good at boxing, but he just runs around. You know, because they want you to come right at him, so you can shrink yourself, right, and take away your height advantage, so he can really pretty much, so Anthony Joshua can lean over and you can punch the shit out of him. That's what you really want. That's the kind of fight they want, because they want an easy night, you know. But don't worry, Andy Ruiz. With the weight that you lose, you'll be able to move around more. You'll be able to do more. You'll be able to say, oh, I had a longer training camp, which will make you better. I don't think Andy's going to get better. The only thing Andy can do is get better in shape. That's the only thing I see. You know what I mean? Obviously, look at him. You know, he has to lose that shit. You know what I mean? But I don't know if that'll affect his boxing ability. You know, he'll definitely do something with his strength and endurance. You know what I mean? But I don't think his boxing has nothing to do with getting better. You know what I'm saying? Ruiz is a guy that was already good. You know, I think he should be in better conditioning. You know, and it's just, that's why I really don't pay that too much attention. But it is a good strategy, because I think it's all mind games at the end of the day. You know, and we don't know if Anthony Joshua learned from this loss. All we do know is he's hungry to get back in there. So we'll see what he learned on the day. But anyway, I'll leave the link below. You guys tell me what you think about Andy Ruiz's comments. Of course, please subscribe, guys. And you guys have been Counterpunch. Peace.